Shalom, Yasharala. Things going. Make sure I got everything good. So, hope everything going good for everybody. As we watch and we pray and we make sure we pay attention to the times that we're living in, and that we encourage each other as the time moves forward and forward to the end of this age and the beginning of a new age. Seeing the prophecies unfold, we as believers and those who understand the truth of what's going on around us, we should be tightening up on our behavior, and we should be encouraging our brothers and sisters to do the same. Wanted to talk to the community, and those who would choose to listen, to warn us, and to remind us who we are and what we're here for. We're not so-called black. We're not any of these conquered new names, Latino, Mexican. We are the Israelites that the Bible speaks of. That is who we are. That is our culture. Our Creator, Yahweh, has chosen us to be a light and to be that example. Let me see. Shalom. Is it letting you come through? It looked like you sent an invite saying it's trying to add you. I don't know if you meant to do that or not, but it sent me an invite. All right, it's saying adding. Maybe it's messing up. But Shalom, nice to hear from you. Nice to hear from you. So yeah, we should be tightening up. Not loosening up. We should be tightening up. We should be the example, the righteous nation, so that all the other nations see our example and understand how to serve the Father through following our example, so forth and so on. So the question is, as a nation, concerning our culture and those who divide, who strive to live according to the Torah or the Torah. What does the culture say? What does the Bashar, the good news, what does it teach us? It says in Matthew's 5:5, it says, you funny. Yeah, but blessed are the meek, because they shall inherit the earth. All right. So the meek shall inherit the earth. A meek person is a lowly person, a servant. Though today got a bit of confusion about what we should be striving for as far as spiritual principles that we're supposed to be employing in our lives. We are not supposed to be trying to be boastful and self-exalt. We are supposed to be the lowly servants and wait for the Most High to exalt us. That is what our position is supposed to be. Um, So it says, blessed are the meek, because they shall inherit the earth. Okay. When we drop down to verse 10, it says, blessed are those, verse 9. Blessed are the peacemakers, because they shall be called the sons of Allah. Now, it says, blessed are the peacemakers. So, on one hand, like the scriptures tell us, you have the path of righteousness, the correct way, and you have the path of your flesh, your feelings, destruction. And so you have the peacemakers that are being called the children of the Most High. Okay. When we go to Matthew 7 and 12 and read down to 14, and this is from the Scriptures Bible. Therefore, whatever you wish men to do to you, do also to them, for this is the Torah, or the Torah, and the prophets. So this is what they taught. Enter in through the narrow gate. That's that tight way. That tight way. The narrow gate. Because the gate is wide, right? The way is broad that leads to destruction. And there are many who enter in through it. I want you to understand that if you're following the crowd, 9 times out of 10, you are in the wrong crowd. Why? Because the narrow path only has a few people there. If you're following the bigger crowd, especially with questionable activities occurring, you got to really self-examine. Verse 14, because the gate is narrow and the way is hard pressed, which leads to life. There are a few find it. So only a few people are going to find that way. All right? Only a few. So you have the peacemakers, who shall be called the children of the Most High. But then you have another option. You have another option. You have an option that's the opposite of a peacemaker. Well, let's go to Proverbs 26 and 20. For lack of wood, the fire goes out. You got a fireplace, all the wood burn up, there's nothing left to burn, fire goes out. Fire goes out. And without slanderers, strife cease. Y'all listen to that. Read it again. For the lack of wood, the fire go out, and without slanderers, strife ceases. Strife is conflict. Conflict is the opposite of peace. So you have those who are creating peace and abiding in it. Then you have those who are disrupting peace. And one of their ways of disrupting peace, causing fire, is slander. Which one should we be doing as a nation? Consider your crowd. Consider if your feelings lined up to what the Creator told you to do and be like. Right? See, we have the book, but do we believe? And if we believe, why is our life and our words don't show that? How long are you going to play with the Creator? You think He hadn't noticed? All the things we are asking the Creator for, hoping and waiting patiently. Yet we won't do what He tells us to do. James chapter 3. A lot of things that you're missing out of your life is being held back by the very words that are coming out of your mouth. If you dedicated yourself to slandering someone or peoples because you are angry or frustrated, is that a peacemaker? I ain't never seen where slander created peace. Because without the wood, the fire ceases. Without a slanderer, strife ceases. We go to James chapter 3, verse 2. And I can see too many of our people um, seem to take false witness and slander as a very little matter. But do the Creator feel that way about it? Because it is the peacemakers that are the children of the Most High, not the fire starters. James chapter 3, verse 2. So which one are you? Consider yourself. And I know you got your fame, and you want to show everybody you on point. You've created this persona. But when you cut your internet off, you got to sit with you. You got to sit with you in the Most High. Can you come before Him saying you did what He told you to do? We're going to get to it. Yeah, we're going to get to it. Let's read what the word says. James 3 and 2. For we all stumble in many matters. If anyone does not stumble in word, he is a perfect man, able also to bridle the entire body. Look, we put the bit in the mouths of horses for them to obey us, and we turn their body. So that little piece put in that horse's mouth, that little piece control the direction where the horse goes. James is comparing that little piece to your mouth and your words controlling where your destiny goes. But you still think that slander, false witness, is a little thing. But it's controlling your destiny, what direction you go. destruction or life. It's going to be a broad way for the slanderers. They're going to be sharing their slander. Look at what I made up here. This person made me angry. And destruction is all they promise. Verse 4. Look at the ships too. Although they are so big and are driven by strong winds, they are turned by a very small rudder. Wherever the pilot intends. So too the tongue is a little member. So that tongue, that mouth, that you think is not a big problem. Control the very direction your soul is going. So too the tongue is a little member, yet boasts greatly. Ooh, got a lot to say. So how a little fire kindles a great forest. There go your fire starters. Huh? There go your fire starters. And the tongue is a fire, the world of unrighteousness. Among our members, the tongue is set, and one defiling the entire body, and setting on fire the wheel of life. And it is set on fire by Gehenna, or the fire of hell. For every kind of beast and bird and of reptile and creature of the sea is tamed and has been tamed by mankind. But no man is able to tame the tongue. Now he's talking about a natural man. The spiritual man can do all things, right? Through Hamashiach, through the Creator. It is unruly, evil, filled with deadly poison. With it, we bless our Elohim, right? We bless the Creator and the Father and Father. And with it, we curse men, we slander them. Who have been made in the image and likeness of Elohim. But you say you love. You say you love the Creator. You said you love your neighbor. Your neighbor is in the image of Elohim. And you slander. But you got love. And you're going to make it to the kingdom. They don't allow slanderers in. So are you a peacemaker or a fire starter? You got to consider yourself. Because it's always time. It's time to repent. Scripture said where there's life, there's hope. But you got to be real with yourself. Are you responding the way the book teaches you to respond? Are you creating peace out of chaos or maintaining the peace? Or are you creating corruption, confusion, and chaos in the midst of peaceful environments? Or with people who are at peace, you're creating a chaotic situation. of the same mouth proceed blessing and cursing. My brothers, this should not be so. You hear that? This should not be so. I'm mad, time to slander, but I'm a peacemaker. You can't be both. You can't be both. So are you the peacemaker or are you the fire starter? Ask yourself, because you only fooling yourself. The Most High know the answer. You should know it because it's directing your life into the very negativity that you're spewing against others by violating their character. Then when somebody come along and violate your character, oh, it's doomsday now. But what's this person's problem? But when you dedicated yourself to lying, slandering, making stuff up, insinuating, where's the evidence? We don't need no evidence. We just gonna put it out there. You really got to consider yourself because the scriptures tell you you reap what you sow. Be not deceived. I'm going to continue. Does the fountain send forth sweet and bitter from the same opening? My brothers, is a fig tree able to bear olives or a grapevine figs? So neither is the fountain able to make salt and sweet water. Who is wise among? Who is wise and understanding among you? Let him show by his behavior, his works, and meekness of wisdom. All right. So you have to put things in order. You have to put things in perspective. Let entertainers be entertainers. Let your spiritual leaders be your spiritual leaders. Right. And the ones that say they are your spiritual leaders, hold them to that standard. The ones that tell you they're your entertainers, you hold them to an entertainer standard. I mean, of course, it'd be good for everybody to keep the commandments, but you shouldn't expect an entertainer who's never professed to be your spiritual leader to be your spiritual leader. You need to make the difference, right? Because there is a lot of, as they say, secular information out there. Some of it is useful, some of it is not. You can go and take math in school. That's secular. It's useful. You can take all these different languages. You may want to go somewhere and communicate with these people. That's secular, but it can be useful. It's not, secular doesn't always necessarily mean bad. It don't always necessarily mean good. You have to use your spiritual discernment to know if what you're listening to is according to the book or is not. And you have to separate the two. You have to use, and if you don't have that ability to discern the two, then maybe you should not be participating in secular information that is confusing. Maybe you're not ready for that situation. Maybe you should pray about it. Maybe you should grow in the spirit before you encounter maybe that class or that teacher or whatever secular person is putting out information. that is clearly not a spiritual leader in your community. So it says, who is wise and understanding among you? Let him show by his good behavior his works in meekness of wisdom. But if you have bitter jealousy, here we go. Here go them slanderers. Huh? Where it come from? Where that slandering? What's in that slandering heart? Why you want to slander so bad? But if you have bitter jealousy, self-seeking, Yasharala, examine yourselves. Is that you? The person or the people you slander? Do you want to be like them? Or do you see something in them that you would like for yourself? And this is your motivation for not being peacemakers, but fire starters. Examine yourself. I mean, if you fall short, like I'm telling you, it's time to repent. You have time to repent. But if you don't ever acknowledge yourself for what's truly going on in your heart, you will never have a desire to repent because you're right when you're wrong. Examine yourself. How serious are you about your walk with the Creator? Consider yourself. James is giving you wisdom here. But if you have bitter jealousy, self-seeking in your heart, do not boast against and lie against the truth. What does he mean? Don't boast against or lie against the truth. Well, as it turns out, after you examine yourself, yes, that's you. Yes, you are a little jealous. Yes, you are self-seeking, some type of selfishness in you, and that's why you gotta come at this person or people in this way. Don't lie and say you're not jealous. Don't lie and say you're not self-seeking. Don't lie against the truth, because now you're trying to make the Most High lie. Now you done prop yourself up as some type of idol. You don't even know that you did that, but that's what you did. That's what you did. Instead of serve the Creator, you serve you. This is not the wisdom coming down from above, but it is earthly, unspiritual, demonic. And you ask yourself, do you want to stay in that spiritual state of mind or that unspiritual state of mind and that demonic state of mind, that destructive state of mind? Keep in mind, these words are sending your life in a direction. We just read that. The rudder and the ship, the bit and the horse. What direction is your life heading? Because your mouth is taking it there. For where jealousy and self-seeking are, there is confusion and every foul deed. Confusion and every foul deed. So a lot of people can't even come together because of this jealousy, because of this self-seeking. You can't do nothing or the things that you need to do as a people to survive, to see the next day. Because I got to prove I'm better than this self-seeking. Jealousy. Or you got a hot woman, I got to bring two. You got this type of car, I got to get a better one. Consider yourselves, man. Consider yourselves. But the wisdom from above is first clean, meaning you coming from a pure, sincere heart. If you slandering somebody and I request proof and evidence of your claim, because we're going to go to the scriptures, oh, you Bible believers. And your response to me is, well, I don't have no evidence for my claim. This is slander. I say to you, what's the real reason that you're doing these things? Why not talk about the real reason why you're slandering this person? Because it's clearly not these things that doesn't affect your life. It's clearly not these things that are so obviously unproven. There's no evidence, no truth to it. The individuals that you're slandering are denying the claim. There's no evidence. Where are your witnesses? Why study the book when you refuse to live by it? Why claim it's your culture, it's your history, it's your nationality, it's the laws you live by, and never live by it? You know, in this book, there's some things that you like to do, and there's some things that you don't like to do. But you got to do both. Examine yourself. Examine yourself. Because when we look around, we can clearly see a lot of these prophecies about end times right all around. But instead of us tightening up as a community, we still behaving as we always did. We got to do better than this. And we got to examine ourselves. Are you a peacemaker? Or are you a firestorm? But the wisdom from above is first clean, then peaceable. See how we get back to the peaceful nature? Is that you? Does this describe you? Are you a peaceable person? Gentle. Does that describe you? Are you a gentle person? Ready to obey. Are you subservient? A servant, listen here, obey. I'm going to repeat that. A servant, a good servant, obey. Is that you? Or are you too good to be a servant? And are you too good to obey those the Creator have put rule over? So are these spiritual characteristics you? Are you a good soldier? Because if you're not a good soldier, you will never be a good general. You will never be a good leader. And it's another lesson. But that's one of the issues that we have in our as brethren, with a lot of our young brothers who've never been under male leadership that share their appearance, or melanated black, Latino, so-called black, so-called Latino, so-called Native American. A lot of us haven't been under a male that is melanated, that we regard and respect, but we're not used to taking orders. So we skip that process, and we are novice, and then we jump in leadership positions that we can't handle. We can't handle. We don't even relate to the people we're leading, and it's apparent in the faulty leadership abilities. So I'm gonna read something. I'm gonna get back to this verse in Luke 6 and 46. It says, "But why do you call me Master, Master, or Lord, Lord in your King James? and do not do what I say, or Adonai, uh, for the Hebrew. He said, you calling me master, master, you're not even doing what I'm saying. But some of us feel like we're too good to be a servant, and we're too good to obey anybody. We just unroot. We just do what we want. But then we want community. Community has structure and order. The Most High never gave us instructions to be anarchists, just destroy everything, disorderly. That's not in this book. We're supposed to establish his law, statutes, and commandments. These are rules, regulations by the Creator who gave us these orders. That's not anarchy. That's the opposite. That's us establishing the righteous government upon the earth. First in our own lives, in our family lives, and then when our king is here, it's going to be worldwide. So he said, why do you call me master, master, Adonai, Adonai, and do not do what I say? So it makes no sense for a believer in Hamashiach to say, I ain't nobody's servant. You're not getting that from this book. You're not getting that from this book. So tell the truth. Back to James 3:17. But the wisdom from above is first clean, peaceful, gentle, ready to obey, full of compassion. Full of compassion. Do these things describe you? Good fruits without partiality, meaning you don't have a favoritism that tells you, well, I like this person, so even when they do wrong, they right, or I dislike this person, so even when they right, I'm gonna say they wrong. That's partiality. That's the favoritism. It's saying, no, you're not gonna do that because you're in a righteous spirit. You're gonna judge the matter according to righteousness' sake. So examine yourselves. It says without partiality, without hypocrisy. Don't be slandering me, but I'm slandering everybody else. I want peace, but I'm removing peace from everybody else. I don't want no problems, but I'm being a problem to everybody else. Without hypocrisy. And the fruit of righteousness is sown in peace by those who make peace. Where you getting your teachings from? Not this book. Fire starters. Read it again. And the fruit of righteousness is sown in peace. You want to reach this person you're upset with? You have to have a peaceful dialogue with them. Allow them to lay out whatever they feel like is truth or actual. You bring your truth, your actual, and you sit them on the table. You have a dialogue. You pray. Because it's the Most High that changed the hearts of men. See, this puts you in a humble position, not your dominant position, where you just gonna take over, rip the man heart out, put some screws or some stuff, throw it back in his chest. You different now. Don't work that way. Don't work that way. You're gonna have to do what the Creator told you to do and wait on Him to work. You have to do what the Creator told you to do and wait on Him to work. That's a humble position. You do your part, you let the Creator do His part. He will change the hearts of men. You just make sure you let him into your heart so that you can change, so that you can be better. Because I tell you what, a lot of times the stuff we be mad at the next person about is some stuff that we used to be stuck in, the Most High delivered us from, and now we have forgot about that. Like that's why we don't have no compassion for the next person a lot of the time. Like we be smelling ourselves. We be smelling ourselves when we do that stuff, man. But the Most High, remember, he's like, yo, I looked out for you. You know, I cleaned you up. Why you think I can't clean your brother up? Why you don't want me to clean your brother up? But you said that's love. So let's get some more scriptures, right? So you got the problem with your brother or your sister. Huh? You gonna be a peacemaker? You gonna be a fire starter? Which one you gonna be? You got the problem with your brother or your sister. Now, when we go to Matthew 5, I'm gonna start at 21 to kind of get the point of. You heard that it was said to those of old, you shall not murder, and 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 whoever murders shall be liable to judgment. But I say to you that whoever is wroth or angry with his brother without a cause shall be liable to judgment. So you don't have no real case against this person. Uh, Maybe this jealousy, self-seeking that James talked about is your fuel to go after this person. Maybe you haven't realized it. Maybe you do. Maybe you just don't care. But it says, but I say to you that whoever is wroth with his brother without cause shall be liable to judgment. And whoever says to his brother, Raka, right? Which you know, studied the Yahweh Dayah, or the language of the Judeans, or the Hebrew, the Ra, or the Rash, and the Ayin, and the Kaf. Kaf. The Rash and the Ayin it basically means evil and a whole bunch of negative stuff. And the Kaf is you or yours. The Ra, the Rash, and the Ayin, R-I, or the R, weaker A, something like that, some people say. The Ra is the same word that's used for the fruit of the tree, the fruit of good and evil. The evil that's there is the same word. You got Rakah. So this is somebody that basically degrading their brother, demeaning their brother, um, and actually before abuse comes, oftentimes degradation often come the dehumanization of that person before the physical abuse come or the attack or whatever. This is the first sign right here. So Christ is trying to stop it at the door. He's trying to warn you. Whosoever say to his brother, Rakah, right, shall be liable to the Sanhedrin judgment. But whosoever say, you fool, great, you shall be liable for the fire of Gehenna. If then you bring your gift to the slaughter place or the altar, and there remember that your brother holds whatever against you, meaning you uh you you sinned against your brother, but you trying to bring gifts to the Most High, and you expect some favor of the Most High, but you don't want to get that thing right with your brother. Leave your gift there before the slaughter place and go and make peace with your brother. So he's telling you to be a peacemaker. I don't know what book y'all reading where you feel you should be a fire starter or keep the fire going. I don't know what book you read. And then come and offer your gift. And then after you get things right with your brother, then you come along and you do you bring your gift to the Most High. You seek His favor, and so forth and so on. You know, when you have an art with your brother, you're supposed to go to your brother, not try to create up slanders because you're angry and the Most High don't. And you think in your mind that the Most High really don't care about slander and bearing false witness because that's how you feel about it at the time until somebody's slandering you. And all of a sudden, slander ain't so small of a matter. We have to stop that. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 25. Therefore, having put off the false, speak truth, each one with his neighbor. For we are members of one another. Be wroth, be angry, but do not sin. So, you can be upset with maybe something you heard, but that don't give you a license to go violate your brother or your sister. That don't give you a license to go violate their character and make up slanderous things against them to be that fire starter, like we was talking about earlier. I'm going to read that again before I go to Deuteronomy. See, the scriptures got solutions for us. But until we start applying them and stop resisting it, our community never going to grow. I mean, some of the things I'm hearing is just like, are we reading the same book? I don't see where the book is encouraging you to be a fire starter, to spread rumors and slander because this one and that one don't get along. I don't see that in this book. Because for you that say you a believer in Hamashiach, the Messiah, one of the things that his enemies did against him in the trial was to bring a bunch of false accusers. That's what they was doing to an innocent man. Why do you think he would then support you doing it to your brother, who apparently is innocent because none of the charges you bring, you can validate. You have no witnesses. We're going to get into it. Proverbs 26 and 20, once again. For lack of fire, the fire goes out, and without a slander, strife ceases. As coal is to burning coal, as charcoal is to burning coal, and wood to fire, so is a contentious man to kindle strife. Okay? Now, when this slander comes along, the righteous hear it. The righteous person is going to respond according to the Spirit. The righteous is going to inquire. What's these things y'all talking about? Where are the witnesses? Is there any truth to these claims? So in Exodus 23, do not bring a false report. I repeat that. Do not bring a false report. What if everybody doing it? What if it's not so bad? Do not bring a false report. Do not put your hand with the wrong to be a malicious witness. Do not follow a crowd to do evil. There go your broad way. Where everybody's slandering, it's good now. This is the thinking of too many. You see the slander going about. Are you the peacemaker or are you the fire starter? You gonna throw more fire in that slander? Or are you gonna say, hey, where's the evidence? Where's the witness? Can we substantiate this? Which one are you? Because you're gonna get what you put out. You're gonna reap what you sow. Today it's all fun and games. I'm a part of the slander crowd. Tomorrow, you are the target of the slander crowd. Now, everybody's supposed to feel sorry for you. But you ain't feel sorry for your brother when you was a part of that crowd. Consider yourselves. Do not follow a crowd to do evil, nor bear witness in a strife so as to turn aside after many. Well, so many people are saying it, it's got to be real. Well, how many people got evidence? This is what we should be asking. Where are the witnesses? 0 witnesses, but there's so many people who are saying it. Listen. Stop following non-spiritual people and expecting spiritual results when they are giving you advice, mannerism, things that go clearly against the spiritual teachings. Clearly against the spiritual teachings. There's no reason. I'm going to continue. Do not follow the crowd to do evil, nor bear witness in a strife, so as much to turn aside after many, to turn aside what is right. Now you know that these people are wrong, but you're going to ignore doing what's right because you have a special anger against this person. Be angry, sin not. Be angry, sin not. Be angry, sin not. Continue. Deuteronomy. Should I start? Deuteronomy 19 and 15. This is how it's supposed to go for those who know better. This is how it's supposed to go. You claim you believe the word. You study the word and you got so many years and you demand so much magnification from your peers. But this word you don't abide by. Because apparently in your heart Your validation, you're not seeking from your creator. You're seeking it from your peers, who is in the same boat and just as powerless as you are, rather than seeking the favor and praise of the Most High, who is the master and creator of all things. 19, verse 15, Deuteronomy. One witness does not stand up against a man concerning any crookedness or any sin that he commits. He guilty of this. She guilty of that. With a witness. Everybody quiet. Something wrong. Something wrong. Something is wrong. This is that broad way. This is that broad way that leads to destruction. I don't need no witnesses. I feel and I think, and this one must go. That's your broad way. Straight path. One witness does not rise up against a man concerning any crookedness or any sin that he commits. At the mouth of two or three witnesses, at the mouth of two witnesses, or at the mouth of three witnesses, a matter is established. Give me your witnesses. Give me your witnesses. So you got to operate on a higher level. If you know your peers is not on the same journey that you're on, why are you expecting them to give you your morality? Stop it. That's not your crowd that you should be following. When a malicious witness rises up against any man to accuse him of turning aside, you're a malicious witness. Then both men who have the dispute shall stand before Yahweh, before the priest, and before the judges who serve in those days, and the judges shall diligently search and see if the witness is a false witness who has falsely accused his brother. For every sin, there's a charge. For every sin, there's a punishment that goes there. Right? And you, because you feel like slander is nothing until it comes against you, this one did this and that sin. Where's the evidence? How can we examine it? How can we properly judge this matter? Oh, you're not interested in doing things the right way. You just want to pull decent people into your mess. Instead of keeping the peace, you want to bring strife and conflict. You want to keep the fire burning. Why? Because it's jealousy and self-seeking in your heart. James let us know this. This type of thinking is non-spiritual, demonic, and earthly. Demonic and earthly. Self-seeking, jealousy, demonic, earthly. This is you. This is you. You have opportunity to change, but you got to acknowledge that you need to change. And the judges shall diligently seek. All right, I read that. Then you shall do to him as he thought to have done to his brother. Nowadays, cancel this person, shut him down, do this and do that. Well, when it turns out that you are the malicious witness, everybody should cancel you. Watch how fast this lifestyle would end in our community. Hey, I got rumors. No evidence, just rumors. I got a lot of people saying it. No witness, no proof, no nothing. I got rumors though. And with these rumors and with these people, cancel. Okay. Well, let's examine. Oh, no evidence? Oh, the person you're accusing have more evidence that they're not what you accusing them of? Well, you're a false witness. Yeah, you in the crowd, y'all should be canceled. The scripture I'm reading to you. Thus you shall purge out evil from among you. That's how you purge out evil from among your community. And this is why the evil is not purged out. This process is not happening. Because violating each other is not that serious to many of us. Violating each other, it's all fun and games. And you wonder why your enemies got ruled over. You wonder why your enemies get so far and your community don't. Because violating each other, destroying each other, is all fun and games. All fun and games. And then you take the most unequipped, immoral individuals among you and make them your leaders. Sure, they won't tell you the truth, but they tell you what you want to hear until they get exposed, and then you still follow. Still follow. So, thus you shall purge out evil from amongst you, and let the rest hear and fear, and never again do this evil matter in your midst. So, now that we have the light of the truth, now that we have claimed, we have chosen a better way, it's time for us to start demonstrating these things. Because all that talk ain't going to do nothing if we ain't applying what we talking about. So let's start applying this stuff. Or you wasting your time. Romans 13 and 8. Owe no one any matter except love one another, for he who loves another has filled the Torah. For this you shall not commit adultery, you shall not murder, you shall not steal, you shall not bear false witness, you shall not bear false witness, you shall not bear false witness. I love my people, but you bearing false witness? That's not loving your people, that's hating your people. Peacemakers or fire starters. You shall not bear false witness. Here we go. You shall not covet. Jealousy, self-seeking, earthly, demonic, uh, non-spiritual, heart activities, all this type of stuff. A lot of this comes from you shall not bear false witness. You shall not covet. You shall not covet. It says, and if there be any other command concerning how to treat your brother, it is summed up in this word. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. Love does no evil to a neighbor. Therefore, love is completion of the Torah. It's time for us to start developing ourselves as individuals. Stop being all over the internet, portraying yourself a particular way. I mean, it's not going to really mean nothing And oftentimes, um, you know, that type of life don't last too long anyway. Um, People begin to investigate you, or you know, and what you've been doing, you slandering. People gonna start doing on you. Um, you know, they're gonna start seeing you not who you are. More than likely, they're gonna add something to whatever flaws you have. They gonna see your flaws. They're gonna add like 5 other problems that not even you. But since they found one problem with you, they're gonna add 5 more. They're gonna take that round away, and that crowd you was a part of now against you. So it is what it is. I mean, if you pay attention, if you have any age on, and you've been paying attention to what happens in life, what happens around you, you know that this cycle that I'm talking about is true. You've already seen it too many times. So a wise person would learn from that mistake and grow in wisdom, not continue that mistake. We have to rise above this so we can get off these petty things. If it's a lot of self-seeking. Start focusing on yourself, developing yourself, making yourself a better person. Maybe you wouldn't feel so jealous or intimidated by the next person that you have to focus your life on slander, digging up dirt, and doing all these things you can't prove, you can't validate. And the person you accuse already denied it and brought forth their evidence to substantiate their denial of your slander. I'm going to continue. So in Matthew 7, I'm going to start at 20. So then, by your fruits you shall know them. Not everyone who says to me, Adonai, Adonai, Master, Master, shall enter into the kingdom of the heavens, but he who is doing the desires of my Father in the heavens, that's the one that's going to make it to the kingdom. Many shall say to me in that day, Adonai, Adonai, Master, Master, have we not prophesied in your name? So these are people who are claiming they're part of this walk. But to the public, they're this, you know, appearance that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. But the Most High knows. He knows you can't fool him. So it says, many shall come to me in that day, Master, Master, have we not prophesied in your name and cast out demons in your name and have done many mighty works in your name to represent you? Then I shall declare to them, I never knew you. Depart from me, you who work lawlessness. He gave you his laws. He told you to love your brother, not to hate your brother. He told you to love your brother. He told you to love your sisters, not to hate your sisters. If you read in Deuteronomy 22, there was an occasion where a guy uh, uh, it explains a possible scenario where the guy, for whatever reason, didn't like his wife, um, and he falsely accused her of sleeping around before he got with her. The evidence was brought forth that she was a virgin before he got with her, And if I'm not mistaken, that guy was beaten or something like that. Like something happened to him. Like something happened to him. And it tells you that because he brought up a bad name. Uh, he brought up a bad name for that sister by trying to make her seem like she is a whore, but she wasn't. So my point is that's not cool. Like it's not cool. Either way you do it, it's not cool. Um, you're gonna have to uh, validate your accusations, or you can't be running around uh, with no evidence, but you bringing up charges on people. You just keep doing it over and over and over and over. Most High is not with that. Most High is not with that. Um, Most High is not with that. So um, I'm gonna read this and I'm gonna let y'all go. Hope y'all enjoy. Hope y'all consider yourselves. Um, think about it, man. I know. Some people make you angry and some people make you mad, but don't let nobody pull you into uh, your flesh. And if you were spiritual minded, um, you let the weaker part of you take over. Frankly, just take over. Um, Colossians chapter 3. I'm gonna start at 1. If then you are raised with the Messiah, seek the matters which are above, where Messiah is, seated at the right hand of Elohim. Mind the matters above, not those on the earth. For you have died, and your life has been hidden with the Messiah in Elohim. When the Messiah, who is our life, is manifest, then you also shall be manifest with him in esteem. Some of y'all want y'all glory right now. Therefore, put to death your members which are on the earth, whoring, any sexual sins. He said, put it away. Uncleanness, passions, evil desires, the greed of gain, which is idolatry. Some people do all this slander for money. I forgot about that. Some people, because what do they say now? They say attention is currency. So some people, it might not even necessarily be jealousy. They just see that this is the motivation of other people, and they see a financial gain from it. Oh, you guys, oh, this, all right. So let me give you what you want. Let me give you what you want, right? And they find a way to monetize the jealousy of others. Um, you know, so it says that you worshiping money at this point. You willing to do anything and everything uh, for that money. I mean, who can trust you at that point? Yeah, for you, somebody come through with big bucks, and you are what they choose you to be at that point. Verse 6. Because of these, um, the wrath of Elohim is coming upon the children of disobedience, in which you also once walked when you lived in them. But now also put off all these: displeasure, wrath, evil, blasphemy, filthy talk out of your mouth. So in some translation, instead of filthy talk, it'll say slander. All right. So that filthy talk, and that's that slander right there. I believe it's the ESV. I'll tell you that slander right there. Do not lie to each other, since you have put off the old man with his practices, and have put on the new one, who is renewed in knowledge. In knowledge. You're supposed to be renewed in your knowledge, according to the likeness of him who created you. See that? Where there is not Greek or Yehudi, circumcised or uncircumcised, foreigner or Syrian, slave, free, but master, but Messiah is all and in all. Therefore, as chosen ones of Elohim, set apart and beloved, put on compassion, kindness, humbleness of mind, meekness, patience. These are all principles that would destroy the ideals and practices of fire starting. It says to put on compassion, kindness, humbleness of mind, meekness, patience, bearing with one another, and forgiving each other. If anyone, has a complaint against another, indeed, as the Messiah forgave you, so also should you. But above all, put on love, which is bound of perfection. So I hope something I read, something I said, inspire you to be a better person. We got to do better. We can do better. It's time for us to start looking within, fixing within, rather than spending so much time trying to fix without. There's a time and a place for that, but we're not balanced in that. You know, we're not balanced in that. We have to begin to fix ourselves and then try to help our brothers and sisters do the same. So do yourselves a favor and try not to be provoked by maybe some of the evil that you see, so that you go out and do evil. And pray, remain humble, go to the Father, go to his word, and make use of the solutions that's in the book, so that we can have a more spiritual life and that we may be redeemed, because our neighborhoods are messed up, our people are messed up. But guess what? In order for us to change these things, we must first change ourselves. All right? So I love y'all. Hope y'all receive it. Pray on it. Maybe discuss it with a friend. But work on yourselves. Love yourself. Love your people. Love the Creator. Love y'all. Shalom.